We are not just trying to win an election. We are trying to fundamentally change our politics. And it's working.
And that is now an understatement. Hello, everybody. David Shuster here. James Talarico's Senate campaign in Texas is surging, and the Democrat has Republicans nationwide in panic mode. Headline: Talarico leads both Cornyn and Paxton in new polls of Texas Senate race. A poll conducted by Texas Public Opinion Research from April 17th to 20th and published Tuesday found Talarico leading Senator John Cornyn by 3 percentage points, 44 to 41%. The Austin Democrat leads Attorney General Ken Paxton by a margin of 5 percentage points, 46 to 41%. In a separate poll, the Texas Politics Project at the University of Texas at Austin found Talarico ahead of Cornyn by 7 points, 40% to 33%, and ahead of Paxton by 8 points, 42 to 34. Talarico's populist message includes direct shots at Republican incumbent Senator John Cornyn. Talarico blames Cornyn and other Republicans for creating a political system that is rigged for the billionaire class.
This problem has only gotten worse. It got worse when our Senator John Cornyn cast the deciding vote on that big ugly bill, which allows billionaires to permanently write off the entire cost of private jets. This is while working Texans, working Americans are barely making ends meet.
No Democrat has won a statewide race in Texas since 1994, 32 years ago. And in recent cycles, polls have routinely offered rosy projections for Democrats, the minority in Texas, only to see Democrats fall short in November. Still, with Donald Trump's low approval ratings weighing down all Republicans and Latino voters turning away from the GOP over the Trump economy and immigration policies, political analysts in Texas see an environment more akin to 2018, when Democrat Beto O'Rourke came within 3 points of unseating Republican incumbent Senator Ted Cruz. On the Republican side, John Cornyn and Ken Paxton are competing in a May 26 runoff to be the Republican Senate nominee and take on Talarico, who won a competitive primary of his own in early March. The Republican primary battle has been brutal. Paxton, a former state attorney general and member of the state legislature, was impeached a few years ago for campaign violations and allegedly cheated on his wife, prompting their divorce. Cornyn is keeping the Paxton scandals front and center.
Not even his own family can trust Ken Paxton.
If he's nominated, there's a high risk that Paxton would lose this Senate seat, taking 5 congressional seats down with him. Ken Paxton, as the nominee, would be a dead weight at the top of the ticket for Republicans running all across this great state.
The Republican Senate primary is already the most expensive in U.S. Senate history, with most of the Republican money flowing to the incumbent Cornyn. But on the Democratic side, Talarico's fundraising has also been impressive, even without knowing which Republican he will face in the general election. Since launching his campaign, Talarico has raised over $40 million. At this stage of a Senate campaign, that is the most in election history. And none of the Democratic money or independent money is coming from corporate political action committees. Talarico has been railing against corporate oligarchs and criticizing a tax code that he says favors the wealthy.
The average American pays about 14.5% of their income in federal income taxes now. The 400 wealthiest billionaires pay about half that. How is that possible? Well, over the last 50 years, billionaires have bankrolled political campaigns, and then their puppet politicians turn around and rewrite the tax code to benefit them at our expense.
At that event and others, Talarico singled out some of the billionaires by name.
Campbell Soup heiress Charlotte Weber wrote off Kentucky Derby racehorses and used those losses to drive down her total tax bill. Elon Musk's $78 million private jet, Jeff Bezos's $500 million mega yacht, all of that can be used to lower their entire taxable income. This is why billionaires buy politicians, to rewrite the rules in their favor at our expense.
Populism is a feature in several Democratic campaigns, and in the battle for control of the U.S. Senate, Republican indifference to the wealth gap has also become a huge issue in the state of Ohio. Incumbent Republican Ohio Senator John Husted is facing a challenge from former 3-term progressive Senator Sherrod Brown. And Husted recently gifted Brown and Democrats with this.
As we have demographic challenges. As we have a lower birth rates, an aging workforce, less immigration, we're going to need people to do more work.
We are going to need people to do more work. Democrats have pounced on Huston's remarks, arguing this is the Republican Party view and that the GOP actually believes average Americans need to work more while the wealthy get more tax breaks and government help. Even some Republican analysts say Huston's remarks may cost the GOP the Ohio Senate race and could also reverberate in other campaigns and cost Republicans control of the U.S. Senate. A James Talarico win in Texas would skyrocket Democratic chances of becoming the majority in the Senate. According to the polls, Talarico's support in Texas is being powered by voters of color, college-educated Texans, and independents. Among independents, Talarico is beating John Cornyn 51-29 and beating Paxton 53-28. The Texas Politics Project poll found that inflation and higher prices were voters' top concerns, followed by political corruption, the economy, war in the Middle East, moral decline, and immigration. On every issue, Donald Trump is underwater now by double digits, meaning his disapproval rating is at least 10 points higher than his approval. It is, according to many analysts, a perfect storm for Democrats. Many Republicans know it and are freaking out. And the Democrat that now has Republicans especially anxious and fearful is James Talarico in Texas. Talarico is surging.
We're going to ban using tax write-offs for luxury items like private jets. We're going to close the carried interest loophole. We're going to end the buy, borrow, die loophole. We're going to crack down on offshore accounts. We're going to target billionaire tax cheats.
By the way, greedy billionaires in California are now melting down over this. California's billionaire tax has the signatures to make the ballot, backers say. Supporters of the measure say they've accumulated more than 1.5 million signatures, topping the 875,000 required. The tax revenues would be used for healthcare, food aid, and education programs.
Supporters say the policy could generate billions of dollars and make up for an anticipated budget shortfall in the California healthcare system.
The billionaire class cannot have it all. This nation belongs to all of us, not just a handful of billionaires.
Check out that video at the link below. It generated a lot of comments on YouTube. One of the most popular from Stoked who wrote, "I live in California and will absolutely vote for this." I hear you. I look forward to reading your comments about voters in Texas putting Democrat James Talarico ahead in a huge Senate election campaign. I'm David Shuster. Thanks for joining us.